Hello, friends. I'm SARA WISEMAN. Today's topic is what is direct connection? And, of course, we've discussed this a lot because this is one of the main ideas I'm hoping to get forward out into the world. This idea that you can directly, without knowing how to do it, without knowing what you're doing, without help from anyone else, you can create direct connection between you and your guides and your angelic team. This is not something that's made up. This is not woo-woo. This is just what's available when you open your eyes or you open your mind to this idea that we are not the only beings here. And all of the beings here are not our departed loved ones. There's a whole other layer or multiple layers of these mentors and translators and helpers. So here's what the teaching is. What is direct connection? The key to waking up is to open to us the many guides and angelic beings who are direct translators of the ineffable grace of God, one all universe. We are here to translate the exquisite language of the universe for you. We ask that you make direct connection with us, your guides and angels. This is the most direct way you can learn to speak the language of the universe. As you attach to light, you become able to attach to more light. There's a couple parts here. One, this is the most direct way you can learn to speak the language of the universe. So what this is saying is that it is not enough to read a book about guides and angels, or to listen to a podcast or watch a podcast about guides and angels, or to get in a guides and angels deck and start using that. The most direct way is to connect with them on your own. It bothers me a bit that there are some people out there who are still making these promises, like they're psychics or healers or what have you, and they're like, I can tell you your guide or angel's name, or I can provide you with the message that your guide and angels wants you to know. This is completely untrue. There are some people who can see past lives, I'll give that, and there's definitely lots of healers and psychics who can see the departed, but when it comes to guides and angels, now, okay, it is possible that like my group of guides and angels could relate to your group of guides and angels, but for me to be able to see your guides and angels is impossible, and it's not possible for you to see anyone else's either. And it makes me a little perturbed when this is being spread around, like one person has the power and they're going to tell you. No, you not only have the power, but you're the only one who can create it. You're the only one who can do it. And that's because this is you as a soul connecting to your soul's teacher, guidance, mentor, what have you. If you don't ever do this, there are some ways that the universe is still going to be coming to you. There are lots of paths, but if you take the challenge of letting go of this idea that you can't, and if you take the challenge of kind of walking blindly and trying it, you'll be quite surprised by what begins to come about. This idea also, as you attach to light, you become able to attach to more light. And this is what I've absolutely found. I've been doing these practices. Well, I did them as a child, but I didn't know I didn't have these names for them. I was always in connection and communion with all this stuff all the time, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And probably like you, I was trying to shut it down so I wouldn't get in trouble, or just wouldn't be seen as odd, or more odd than I was seen as. But when you start this process of connecting to your guides and angels, and when you start this process of accepting that you can do this, and when you begin to say, like, this is my responsibility as a soul to make this connection and receive this guidance and actually work with my divine teacher, not a human, a spiritual teacher in spirit guide form. As this happens, as you do this, then you become able to do it more. Your skills increase as with any practice. I do think guides and angels for some people are going to come very much in third eye visioning or in channeling in the ear. For some people, they are more directed towards feeling sense, and also towards synchronicity sense, where we're going to see something happen when we're in the state of asking. For example, today, as I'm recording, right now we're in this middle of this huge snowstorm thing, and we still have power as of right this moment. And it's been a few days, like a lot of the country, we're kind of shut down a bit. And I was just sitting there looking out the window. I live in the city. And I was just like, I think guides and angels, I just think, here's what I think is my plan. A couple things I've been working on, sort of meditating lightly, and then I just kind of sitting there. And I just said, well, what about this idea? Sort of having this conversation back and forth, listening and receiving. And as I looked out of the window, an enormous, huge, fabulous bald eagle just flew right across the sky right by the house. I was stunned because obviously, I talk about eagles. I do go down to the river to seek them here, which is one of the places they sometimes are. But this was right at the house in this fairly dense urban area, right? And I just took that as a magnificent sign that I'm really grateful for. It was just an absolute yes to the question that I had. And so that's an example of how going into direct connection, sometimes you're going to get your answer in third eye visioning with, your eyes closed, you're going to be in meditation. Sometimes you're going to get it in channeling as a voice or a sound or a thought or language is going to come in. You're going to get that word. Sometimes you're going to get it in feeling. Sometimes you're going to get it in some kind of synchronicity. But when you make this direct connection, you're going to receive an answer. And those are the answers you keep moving toward. You ask, you receive the answer, you go in that direction. You ask, you receive the answer, you go in that direction. And on and on and on. And this is your soul path. Thank you for listening.